You've been lied to, hoodwinked, bamboozled. And by who, you ask? Well, you. You've lied to yourself for years. You've limited yourself and you've held yourself back from some of these things that you've thought about yourself and some of these lies that you've told yourself. But don't worry, I'm talking to myself too. Welcome to my channel. My name is Desiree. And today we're going to talk about 5 lies many of us believe and some of the truths that can free us from the bondage that they create. Lie number 1, I'm too busy or I don't have enough time. I've never been more busy than I am in this season of my life. I've never had more responsibilities. I've never had more on my plate. I actually kind of beat myself up for not making better use of the time that I've had in other seasons where I had way more downtime. Can you say most of 2020? But I'm challenging myself to stop allowing this idea that I don't have enough time to grip me. Because if I don't do anything in relation to my goals, then I'm certainly not going to make any progress. I know I can't do everything all at once. I have a lot of things that I want to do, a lot of goals that I've set for myself, but perhaps, some things in small increments of time. Also, we can't find time. Really, we have to make time for the things that are important to us. And if you consider spending versus investing, right? How you spend your time versus how you invest your time. Spending is an exchange, right? You go to the store, you spend money, and you receive goods. You buy groceries, you buy a candle, you buy some new bed sheets, right? You are exchanging your money for these goods, right? And then you can look at um, money as and time as how in being invested, right? So an investment is a good investment is something that you receive a return on, right? So you can invest in yourself by buying or hiring a coach, hiring a personal trainer. You can invest in stocks, right? And have returns on that investment. It requires doing some research, right? We want to make sure that we're making good investments. But it's this idea of spending versus investing and how you have potential returns on the investments. So I look at time in a similar manner. And so how we invest our time and what is that producing for us? Are we investing in our learning? We're putting time into learning a new skill, into developing ourselves further. And so if we approach the perspective of time from that viewpoint and that vantage point, then I believe that how we spend slash invest our time would possibly differ. So here's the truth that we can tell ourselves to just kind of combat this limiting belief and this lie that we have started to believe. I prioritize my dreams and make time for the activities that align with my goals. Lie number 2, I'm going to fail. Now, why is this the thought that we often resort to when we are setting out to accomplish something that might feel slightly out of reach? This is truly a limiting belief to approach life from a place of failure and then the fears that it won't work out. Well, but what if it does? I mean, and even if you just shift your perspective, right, and you consider that a loss, you could still look at as a win, right? Because losses come with lessons, but just don't keep losing at the same game. I mean, learn the rules of the game, get better, and then dominate it. So say with me, every step I take, whether I succeed or I stumble, brings me that much closer to my goals and helps me grow. Line number 3, I don't know what to do. I really truly feel like we don't give ourselves enough credit. If you're anything like me, you overthink, you overanalyze, you explore many different opportunities, outcomes, etc. You may even overconsume information, content, courses. I mean, you name it. And with each of those explorations, you have hopes that the next thing will be and present like an aha moment. It'll give you the answers that you've been seeking. In my experience, this actually leads to more confusion, doubt, and then inaction. I would venture to say that in most cases, we do know what to do. We may just be looking for validation or confirmation. But because of the various fears that we have, we refuse to take action. We consider every possibility of why we shouldn't do what we felt led or inspired to do, right? I believe that we have this internal compass, we have a divine guidance system. And when we start to get in the way of that, we are out of alignment with our highest and best self. And it is then when we feel like we don't know what to do, right? That's what I believe. How often have you thought about something and then talked yourself out of it only to come back around and decide to do it and then wonder why you hadn't done it before? That's exactly what I did really with this channel. I let my limiting beliefs talk me out of it several times over. And now look at me, I'm doing it and I'm enjoying it, right? And I'm also asking myself what took me so long, right? Because it's been an enjoyable experience, because it's been a creative outlet. And so here's something that we can tell ourselves in order to overcome this limiting belief. Clarity often comes with action, and I'm open to discovering the best course for my life. I trust myself. Line number 4, someone's already doing that, and I could never be as good as them. If God wanted two of the same person, he would have created them as such. I mean, even identical twins have their own uniqueness. They're their own person. We all bring unique value, insights, experiences to anything that we approach in life. Even to people who have been in the same situation or had the exact same experience, raised in the same household, whatever, would have different outcomes. We will have two different recollections or opinions about what may have occurred. There is an assortment of things that our uniqueness is comprised of. And so when we are comparing ourselves to others, we devalue ourselves. And one of my favorite quotes is, don't compare your beginning to someone else's middle. And hey, guess what? Like, if you never start, you'll never know where you end up. And who knows, like maybe one day you could end up collaborating with that person that you've been comparing yourself to, because maybe you're in a similar line of work and your work is aligned, your beliefs are aligned and in some way, and there may be an opportunity for you to work together, right? Who knows? Um, you just never know how good you can become if you never start. So if you allow that belief that someone else is better than you and therefore you can't be successful, well, you'll never know that if you allow that belief and that lie to be your truth. Because let's face it, if you don't take action, you will make no progress and you will never know just how good you can be. So let's speak truth. I have my unique perspective and talents that no one else can replicate. There is room for my success, and my contributions are valuable and needed. Lie number 5, I need to be more knowledgeable to be successful. The best way to learn is to do. This is another one of my favorite quotes and favorite things to say. Listen, you can watch all the oil change tutorials in the world, but until you've actually performed at least a few, I'm not going to trust you with my car. Life is about learning, applying what we learn, growing, evolving, I mean, you really don't know what you can do, whether or not you can do something, and how good you'll be at it if you never do it, right? And doing it, applying yourself and accomplishing it or working towards accomplishing it will allow you to be in position to gauge how you can be better. We should always strive to be at least, incrementally, marginally better at what we do over the course of our lives. If you exercise, right, over time, you'll likely want to lift slightly heavier, maybe run slightly faster, a little bit longer. And before long, you'll look back and that 20-minute mile could now take you 15, right? So just keep working at your goals. And I promise you, even with the slightest incremental changes and action towards it, you'll look back over your life and be so happy that you took action and so happy that you didn't give up. All right, so here we go. Here's our truth. I gain knowledge and success through consistent action and experience. Each step I take helps me grow and improves my skills. Let me know in the comments which lie resonated with you most and which truth you're going to start applying today. This is part two of a series that I did where we talked about 5 other lies that we've believed. So if you enjoyed this video, then you can check out part 1 of the series. It's linked in the description. Thanks for tuning in. See you soon.